Não tem problema, amigo. Amigo, eu não tenho problema, amigo. Amigo.
Oh, don't pee, man. Sorry. Move back. Out the way, bro. Out the way. You will get knocked down. Move.
It just gets bad in here, man. I just don't want to be here no more. I pray to God just. I'm just tired of you guys talking about me and just always talking shit. You guys just don't even know how to just leave me alone. I'm just so tired.
Welcome back to Liquor's Take. Today we are looking at a surprise twist. Some Somalis for Trump supporters are now in tears as new deportation actions begin, and many are suddenly regretting the vote they proudly cast. Let's break down what is happening.
Here's a man who was sent back to Somalia. Watch what he says here. Go ahead, Rob.
أنا معهم لأن دبي أنت اللي وضو باسبوركي ولا قاطي وعني ساوك جرا أنتو قفوا إمبسي لسؤال لكورو إلاك بغض لسؤال عند علي. I don't want to be here no more. I'm so tired of being here. This place. This is where I'm living. So tired of it. It's just like I want to go back. I don't want to be here no more. I don't cut my hair. I don't shave. I don't do nothing.
You can pause it right there. Whoever picked that music, like that piano in the background, that was...
Trump said, what about Somalians? Roll a clip.
What do the Somalians have to do with this Afghan guy who shot the national?
Nothing, but Somalians have caused a lot of trouble. They're ripping us off for a lot of money. There's a tremendous amount of money going back to Somalia. What the hell are we paying money to Somalia for? But they're ripping off our country at a level that few people have been able to see before. That's about the only thing. You talk about competence. We have Ilhan Omar, who does nothing but complain about our country and our Constitution. And she comes from a country with practically no country. It's devastated, it's crime-ridden, it's a mess, it's a disgrace. And we took their people at a tremendous... We're not taking their people anymore. We're not taking their people. And we're getting a lot of their people out because they're nothing but trouble. Okay, thank you very much, everybody. Go ahead.
Mr. Mango Mussolini has officially become the old white man just start saying racist shit unprovoked. Hey, Grandpa, how was your Thanksgiving? The Piccadillies from Somalia, we shouldn't let them into the country. And that Ilhan Omar, I can't even enjoy this dry-ass turkey because that black monkey is here in Minneapolis. And why do we even give money to Somalia? Don't mind that picture, I'm in the hotel room, but how much money have we given to Somalia compared to Israel? A lot of y'all don't know this, but the United States helped destroy modern Somalia through a whole bunch of different military interventions. Don't tell nobody though. Back for people in the back. The 1993 Black Hawk Down, that famous shit, that comes from Somalia. And that's a U.S. failed operation. Look it up. This man is the king of deflection. Instead of answering the questions that he's linked to about this Afghani person that came in and knocked down these old National Guards, he want to talk about Somalians and Ilhan Omar. Now imagine, them was one of your peoples and you in the National Guard and you're mourning them and you hope the president gonna say something meaningful about how much they contributed to the National Guard and to this old country's defense. And all he did was talk shit about Somalians and Ilhan Omar. I could be wrong, but I don't have confidence that Trump can even locate Somalia on the map. Look, he just be talking. He just be yapping. He just be blabbering. This man can talk shit about the entirety of Somalia and Somalians, but you better not say nothing about Charlie.
So let's talk about the country that Donald Trump is calling garbage, Somalia. He said all that, but he forgot to say, and now I'm not a historian, so I might be off a year or two, a name or two. But I do know that in the 80s, because I was born in the 80s, I took history when they were really teaching history in school. The U.S. went over and supported Saeed Barre, whatever his name was. And he was the current leader of Somalia, who he assassinated the previous president. The U.S. went over there and supported him and used Somalia as a pawn against Russia because where it was located, okay? Now, civil unrest took place and they assassinated him. And all the fuck shit that he did is because U.S. supplied him with a lot of his shit, okay? And when I cuss, because I'm breaking it down into layman's term, all right? So, the U.S. started an operation because once he was assassinated, Somalia, all these different little groups popped up, and the country was a mess. The U.S. started a program around, like, I think in like 92. Anywho, withdrew in like 94. And that's why people with a heart and a conscience and with a clear mind and with any faith in God gave Somalians refuge over here if they could make it, because the U.S. was a part of the destruction of the country. Now, how come President Trump didn't talk about that?
Donald Trump, what he said has to be the biggest eye-opener for all of the Somali expats living in the West. Put things into perspective, I'm a Somali, British-born Somali. Grew up in the UK, London, to be precise, and I moved to Hargeisa about a year and a half ago. And it was the best decision I've ever made, because I've been living here. I'm stress-free. I go about my day. No one says anything to me. This is my country, right? At the end of the day, this is my country. And this is the thing about us immigrants. We get caught up in building other people's countries. If I was an American, I would be straight away thinking about how to get back to Somalia, Somaliland, wherever you come from. Why? Because how are you contributing to a country that sees you that badly? And by the way, Donald Trump is the only one who's actually vocal about it. There's others that think the same thing. That's why I say the least that you can do is build up your own country. And I'm not saying go into politics. You're contributing to your country just by living there. I would just advise my Somali-American brothers and sisters, especially those living in Minnesota. Invest in your own land. Invest in your own country. Don't waste your efforts on pleasing another man and another country.
It's so humiliating and embarrassing that some Somalis, that the ones that don't see themselves as black, went and voted for Donald Trump. Like, out of everybody, are you serious? Oof! Right now. Let's pack your bags. Oof!
On social media, you can see the same message again and again. We didn't think Trump meant to us. A lot of Somali-American voters believe Trump was targeting other groups, not them. Wow. Some supported him for business reasons, others for his strong man in politics, but now that immigration enforcement is hitting their own community, now they are regretting loud and painful. Families are stressed, people with unclear paperwork are panicking, and community is divided about what can we do next. They have no idea.
I'm not mad at the Somali people. I want y'all to hear me loud and clear. I am not mad at the Somali people in the state of Minnesota. I'm not mad at them. You know why I'm not mad at them? Because what they're doing is what happens when people come together to build an empire. And that's what they have done and are doing. They have created an empire in the state of Minnesota. And they are unified by one ideology, by one politics called Islam. Islam. They're not divided by some gender ideology. They're not divided by feminism. They're not divided by some type of queer politics or anything like that. They're not divided by liberalism. Because Islam, the kind of Islam they practice, it is resistant to liberalism. It is resistant to feminism. It is resistant to any type of ideology that would disrupt them internally. And you know what's so interesting? I'm going to say this. You know what's so interesting? What they're doing is what the Nation of Islam has been preaching since the 1930s. The Nation of Islam has tried to get black Americans to do the same doggone thing since the 1930s. Elijah Muhammad preached it, Malcolm X preached it, Louis Farrakhan preached it. But now you see this thing in action in the state of Minnesota among the Somali people. And the president has a dilemma. And the dilemma is this, is that these people are entrenched, they are part of this society right now. Many of them are citizens. He can't deport all of them, and they're having babies. That's the thing. They are outbreeding the whites, and they're collective. I've been to Kenya, I've been to Africa, I've been to Uganda. I see how they work together in those countries. And what they're doing in those countries is what they're doing right here. I ain't mad at you. I ain't mad at you. Shout out to the Islamic Kingdom in the state of Minnesota.
Minnesota was promised to us Somalis 2,000 years ago. Nuh-uh. The only thing that was promised to you Somalis 2,000 years ago is that light bulb shaped noggin you guys have. Burnt light bulb.
See, the thing about the Somalis in Minnesota is they're just the distraction. They're just the fall guy. Do you think that they're getting these federal grants and state grants without a white person signing off on them? Without a white person benefiting from this money being funneled through their community? The thing is, the same thing has happened in all other communities, but the other communities have been here long enough that they know how to itemize certain expenses. They know the loopholes. They got their lawyers on deck. So they're doing the same shit with the money, but it's just the immigrants are doing it more blatant because they're coming across from overseas so trusting. This is a land of milk and honey. So they hiding cash in their mattresses and shit like that. Whereas these people over here have offshore accounts. They have everything itemized. They have everything expensed a certain way. But it's just a distraction.
Donald Trump really looked at Somali women and said, nah, I don't want them in my country. Brother, you're Khani.
TikTok and X are full of videos of people crying at airport, worried about sudden checks and upcoming change. Comment section A. Butterfly. Some Americans are laughing, some feel bad, and others are saying Trump told everyone exactly what he would do. Nobody believed it. This moment is becoming a warning for immigration communities everywhere. Politics become real very fast.
People who spent years calling America racist are now crying online because they're being sent back to the same country they swore was better than here. Y'all like the video right here, follow for more. And let's get into this one. You see the meltdown videos everywhere, tears, anger, demands, but none of them mention the fraud investigations, the expired visas, the money that moved through criminal networks, or the abuse of programs paid for by the taxpayers. The moment accountability shows up, they all act shocked. I look at these videos and all I see is the same contradiction. Somalia is beautiful when they want moral high ground, but Somalia becomes unsafe the moment removal papers arrive. They switch the story depending on what benefits them. The reactions are emotional because the system finally stopped bending. Deportations are happening because laws exist, because agencies uncover uncovered fraud rings because certain groups are draining millions from health, housing, and social programs that working Americans rely on. There's nothing complicated here. People act like the West owes everyone a comfortable life, like your job is to give everyone else more than what you could give your own family. And that is not how a country works. You cannot build a healthy society by subsidizing the failure of another one. And while all this is going on, the people who should be rebuilding Somalia, protecting Somalia, and modernizing Somalia are here demanding benefits. Their own country loses the adults who should be leading it. But Americans care about Americans who can't afford homes. They care about the people being pushed out of work by cheap labor. They care about a safe country. They do not care about entitlement meltdowns on TikTok. Accountability is not cruelty. Borders are not cruelty. Deportations are not cruelty. They're the basic function of a stable nation. Western countries are finally acting like it. Y'all like the video right there? Follow for more. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll catch you on the next one.
To President Trump and the base that is attacking our community, we understand that you are here to divide us, to create fear amongst us, and to selectively target the blackest immigrant and Muslim community in this great state. President Trump has had a history of targeting black people long before he ever ran for any office. And we know that the identity of who we are is part of the attack, and also as being Muslims and being immigrants. In fact, we know in our community we have some of the smallest number of undocumented Somali-Americans. Majority of us are US citizens, even a majority of even that born in the United States. What we see today that's happening in Minneapolis is the authoritarian nature of this government and acting as a third world nation by targeting lawful US citizens. We should be ashamed of that. This is a moment for all of us. And in this moment, we ask for everyone to show their humanity and to show love in the face of hate. And I know this moment will pass, but history will remind us of what we did in this moment.
So Somalians are trying to drag black Americans into their fight. Check this out.
But Trump based his order on a report whose author has made it clear that his goal is to denationalize and deport as many Somali Americans as possible. This is not about crime. It's not about safety. This is about purging people like me from this country. Minnesota has always been a welcoming place for people fleeing a home country that is blasted by war, poverty, and hunger. Europeans in the 19th and 20th century, black Americans from the South, Hmong.
That was a call for allyship, and they threw the race card out there. We're all black. What happened to I'm not black, I'm Somalian? And what happened to the call of allyship when y'all was scamming Minnesota out of hundreds of millions of dollars? They only pull out the race card when it's beneficial to them, because before this, they'll tell you, you're jealous because Somalians are driving Priuses. And there's no allyship when they taking advantage of all these government assistance programs. HUD, public housing, they're not going to let you in their building that they're in. And these are the same people that will tell you, if you black American Somalians will say, hey, my people came over here in planes and your people came over here in shackles and chains. Keep that same energy. I respect that. Since me and my peoples came over here in shackles and chains in a ship, I'm porting my ship right here. This is where I'm going to port my ship. Don't use black as a race card. Don't use black when it's beneficial. Keep that same energy. You not black, you Somalians. You not black, you Nigerians. Keep that same energy. Because when it's time to benefit off these government programs, like housing, all that stuff, they lock other people out. They don't care about nobody else but their own people. So why you yelling allyship now?
And now I'm understanding, and you're going to look at, I hear they ripped off Somalians. Ripped off that state for billions of dollars, billions, every year, billions of dollars, and they contribute nothing. The welfare is like 88%. They contribute nothing. I don't want them in our country, I'll be honest with you. Okay? Somebody would say, oh, that's not politically correct. I don't care.
Dude, it's finally happening. We're deporting Somalians. It only took over $1 billion being stolen from taxpayers to happen, but hey, better late than never, I guess. Trump even went on air and called the country of Somalia garbage, and let me let you in on a little secret. Come here. He's right. They come from a terrible country that nobody wants to live in. That's why they leave. They come here and then they complain, and they don't do anything but drain the system. 88% of Somalian immigrants are on welfare. You guys remember Ben Stiller, the actor with the big ears and the huge nose? Well, he made a post about it. He goes, guys, Somalians aren't garbage, okay? They're refugees and they're humans just like us. And I have a counterpoint for you, Ben. You live in gated communities in multi-million-dollar mansions, and you don't have to deal with these people at all. So how about this? Until you open one of your numerous multi-million-dollar houses to them, to house them, shut up. Because people who actually contribute to the system, who pay taxes, who work for a living, and who have to deal with these people, we don't want them here. I don't want to hear the call to prayer played in the streets. I don't want to walk outside and see people praying in the parking lots and on the roads. Do that in the privacy of your own home. I don't want to call tech support and have an Indian person who doesn't speak English trying to help me with my problems. I don't want to walk around and see signs in both English and Spanish. That's not assimilation. So if you're refusing to concede to those points, go home.
This situation is changing every hour, and we will keep watching it closely here on Likas Take. One thing is clear: when you vote for policies and targeting immigration, don't be shocked when they run at your own door. Guys, hit like, comment, and subscribe, and let me know what you think. Was this regretting, predictable, or a surprise? See you in the next one. I love you guys.